Biztech's C-Suite Conversation Show. Our guest for today is Malcolm de Mayo. He's the Global Vice President of Financial Services Industry at NVIDIA. Now, since its founding in 1993, NVIDIA has been a pioneer in accelerated computing. Now, the company's invention of the GPU in 1999 sparked the growth of the PC gaming market. But today, it's a lot more. Now, NVIDIA is a full-stack computing company with a data center scale offerings as well. Now, to tell us more about this, we've got Malcolm. Malcolm, welcome to the show.
Brian, it's great to be here. Thank you for the great intro.
Now, Malcolm, for a start, could you give us a primer on NVIDIA and its rich history?
Sure. NVIDIA is, you've already introduced that we were an innovator in PC gaming in the early 90s. But the graphic processor unit has really launched a number of opportunities for NVIDIA. And in 2006, our founder and his team our founder Jensen Huang created software to complement the graphic processor unit. And quickly realized that the great work that was being done in PC gaming could translate very nicely into enterprise businesses in healthcare, automotive, and across every industry. And the beauty of this is accelerated compute, very simply, speeds up workloads. And when you get a speed up, you get a cost savings and you can do more work. So you can do more work for less money and achieve more accurate predictions using the software and the hardware together. So it's been a very exciting journey. We're engaged in all industries. My area of responsibility is financial services.
Okay, and let's zoom in a little bit on the financial services industry. That's obviously an industry which has money to spend and also has the needs for high speed and high transaction volume computing. So they're in terms of expectations, have very, very high expectations. Give us a sense of your product and services offerings then, and also some of the customers that you have in the Asia Pacific region.
Sure. So NVIDIA develops capability. We have hardware and software, as we've talked, and that capability can get embedded in our customers' business processes. And as you know, in financial services, many of the largest banks in the world have been very acquisitive and have been using data and have been using technology for decades to drive cost efficiency, deliver new and creative products to their customers, and to make sure that they're fighting financial crime. So we are arming the financial industry with the next level of capability, and that's artificial intelligence and the speed up to drive it. The two biggest challenges or opportunities with artificial intelligence is you have to be able to process the volumes of data, the velocity of which this data is created, and a variety of data types. And to do that, you need massive computational capability. So it means that our financial customers have to start thinking about accelerating their computer farms, their computational farms with GPU and with the software that we make. That's a little bit of alphabet soup, but it really simply just means, Brian, and you think about the things that banks do today: fighting financial crime, creating liquidity, making loans to their clients, helping them run their business and finance their business. All of those things are powered by data and powered by and have the potential to be powered by artificial intelligence. So we've created a full stack of capabilities ranging from being able to accelerate data loading, which is a tedious and time-consuming process, to accelerating the training of models, AI models, which means you can essentially complete the training of a model with all of the data in a shorter period of time. And that means you save money. And then the running of that model can also be done more efficiently using our capabilities. So the speed up gives you cost savings. It allows you to, as a bank, it allows you to use more data and drive more accurate and greater insights. Why this is important? It's a little bit of AI is a little bit of a game changer, but banks and financial institutions are leaders in adopting new technology, always have been.
Now, I want to ask you then, I want to get into the AI conversation in a little bit more depth a little bit later in this interview, but I want to ask you this. As a CIO of a bank, I've got a lot of options. I've got a lot of competitors besides NVIDIA who are also offering me similar services. I also have the option of doing on-premise. I also have an option of doing cloud, hybrid cloud, and so forth. Why would I pick NVIDIA?
Well, I think one of the reasons is our charter, our reason to be is to help our customers solve their biggest problems. It's something that our founder, Jensen, talks about all the time. Let's help our customers solve their biggest problems. So, for example, Ping An, China's largest property and casualty insurance company, uses our capabilities to do image identification so that they've automated the auto claims process. They've taken a huge chunk of cost out. And they're leveraging our capabilities and embedding the NVIDIA capabilities into their processes. Part of it is we have a very, very big lead in this technology space. And part of it is we're very willing to roll up our sleeves and help customers and help their partners to adopt this new capability.
Now, if you use that Ping An example, I can even, as you were explaining, think about the cost savings that there, because AI will then analyze the insurance claims of the vehicles, for example, very, very much quicker, and then come up with estimates and stuff like that. Is that the use case that you're talking about?
Yeah, in fact, I'll read you a quick quote from Ping An. And we can send you the blog afterwards, but using NVIDIA GPU powered image analysis and AI, we can identify damages, auto claims handling for simple and clean cases, estimate costs and identify fraudulent claims. So it's really the whole gamut of insurance claims processing automated. And when you think about AI, it has the potential to automate so many manual processes today in banking. And so you get kind of a classic twofer. One is massive cost efficiency, and the second is you're serving your customers better. And so you have a competitive advantage.
Okay, now I want to zoom in then on your recently launched State of AI in Financial Services, because I think that will give the audience a better flavor of some of the things we're talking about. Now, first of all, what's the methodology around this report?
Simple methodology, Brian. We work with global financial firms in every region, but a survey is an opportunity to have a different conversation with them. And so we reach out to 500 executives across the industry. This is our third annual survey, and they respond back to a series of questions that we've created to get a better understanding of what are the trends happening from region to region.
Now, then tell us then some key findings of the study that you found most interesting.
So I think the first thing that stood out in the report is that financial services is adopting cloud. I think banks have had enough time now to really understand the value and where to use cloud. And our survey validated that financial services firms are becoming cloud first. And it doesn't mean that they're going to that banks and financial firms are going to move out of entirely their own data centers. I think there's always going to be a place for their own data centers. Because of data, because of the various regulatory laws in different jurisdictions. But the fact of the matter is, especially this year, we're all looking for ways to tighten our belt, to save money, and being able to pay for what you use is a great way to do that. And that's one of the things that cloud enables, the agility of cloud. But it also introduces some challenges for the financial industry. In particular, the financial industry has to be stable. It has to be predictable. It has to be able to deliver services to their clients. And so having resilient offerings has always been a focus of banks, resilient and secure offerings. They spend billions of dollars a year to achieve this. Moving to cloud means they have to keep an eye on not falling into sort of the holy grail of vendor traps, which is vendor lock-in.
Yes.
You have to be careful. You have to be careful. And we all love vendor lock-in, but at the end of the day, it's really making sure you have a portable, open. If you're moving a critical workload into a cloud provider, you're going to get a tremendous amount of value and benefit from that, and be able to, and that'll translate to your customer. But you want to be able to show the regulator that you can move that workload if you have to.
Now, the second thing, Malcolm, that we talked about is also, I think in the report which I saw, was that financial services companies are increasing the velocity at which they deploy AI-enabled applications into productions. So they suddenly, again, as you mentioned just a few minutes ago, banks and other financial services companies have always been in the forefront of adoption. So now they don't see themselves as laggards anymore. Could you shed some light on that?
So I think banks are very proud of the fact, financial firms are very proud of the fact that they are advanced technologically and always have been. And data is not something that's foreign to them. They use data every day. They have lots of data. And one of their challenges is obviously they're very siloed, or organizationally siloed. And so having capabilities that help them to aggregate data, help them to summarize data, help them to gain insights from their data, those capabilities are super important. And what we're doing at NVIDIA in our full stack is we've created pre-trained models. We've created AI application starter kits, if you will, development kits around recommender systems, around that allow personalization of bank services. We've created capabilities around large language models, which we're going to talk about with ChatGPT and generative AI, but to help banks understand all of the information they have, make sense out of it, find that needle in the haystack, that insight that will help their customer and will generate more profits for the financial firm. Now,
one of the things with your survey is also the fact that there's the war for talent is particularly acute for data scientists.
Oh, yeah.
How are you seeing this across, because you have a global remit, obviously, how are you seeing this play out across the world?
Well, so, these kids that are coming out of university have a lot of options. And, so first and foremost, banks are changing their cultures. They're becoming, and it's kind of amazing to see happen, but they're becoming much more engineering friendly. They're establishing partnerships with innovating companies like NVIDIA. I don't know if you saw in December, we announced a partnership with Deutsche Bank. And, one of the things our survey showed is that top of house executives are embracing AI. Here's a quote from Christian Sewing, the CEO of Deutsche Bank. AI and ML and data will be a game changer in banking. And our partnership with NVIDIA is further evidence that we are committed to redefining what is possible for clients. So you have a risk manager, a career risk manager, talking about AI. That's new.
So this also brings us back to what the fourth takeaway from your report, which I read, was basically almost half of the AI projects run on hybrid infrastructure, making data portability, MLS ops management, which you just mentioned, and software standardization across the cloud absolutely imperative. Back to also what you said earlier about being vendor neutral and not being locked in.
Right, exactly. And so, you think about what can financial firms be doing and what are they doing? The leaders are establishing partnerships with companies like NVIDIA. They're establishing partnerships with universities, and they're investing in the right kind of infrastructure. We have dozens of banks that come through NVIDIA's EBC in Santa Clara. We have two beautiful headquarter buildings where some of the greatest R&D in AI is being done in the world today by thousands of PhDs. And they come in and they tell us one of the first questions recruits ask them is, what kind of compute do you have? And if the answer is traditional CPU, it's a bad answer. They're looking to have access to accelerated compute. Only less than 10% of the data centers in the world today are accelerated with GPU. In the next few years, that has to advance quickly for enterprises to keep up.
Okay, so we know that AI is really important for FSIs. For 2023, what are the 4 key priorities?
So building the capabilities, establishing capabilities like being able to deal with large language models, being able to
Could you explain large language models? What does that mean?
It's an AI model. It's a type of AI model that understands language. Okay. It has the ability to understand language in context, which is foundational to human interaction. And so developing this capability will allow financial firms to automate processes. We've talked about Ping An and how they've automated processes. Vietnam's VNPay is harnessing the power of our AI to supercharge their fintech solutions. They've developed a know your customer solution for Vietcom Bank and some other banks in their region. When you think about KYC and AML as a bank process, it's they're basically fighting financial crimes, a $2 trillion problem worldwide. So how can this be done better? Today's systems are based on rules. Rule is good until it isn't, right? Think of cruise control in a car. Cruise control works great until you hit traffic, yes. Right? Then you have to turn it off. With AI, you can steer around the traffic. The car will slow down automatically. So what we see banks, what we see AI enabling in terms of process automation. Let's keep talking about AML and KYC. The work of a caseworker today is tedious, tiresome, and taxing. They are going through mountains of alerts from these rules-based systems that really think's the wrong word, but really can't make predictions outside of the rules that were set. So caseworkers are using Google search. They're doing they're looking up sanctions lists. They're reading documents online instead of getting precise answers, which AI has the ability. The AI models have the ability to understand all of the language in text and to assimilate it, aggregate it, and then make precise predictions back and make a precise answer back to the caseworker. Should you spend time on this or not? Is this truly a suspicious activity? About 6% of all of the alerts that come through are truly suspicious. The rest are just noise, but they've got to run down all of those activities. So AI has the power to automate process. It has the power to personalize the offers, understand what customers are doing on your homepage, on your website, what products they're looking at, and personalize offers back to them. We've got a customer in North America. Capital One has doubled the conversion rate using AI, and in fact, they've done a study together with our people at our show, GTC, which is coming up in March 20th, 23rd. We run an NVIDIA event every spring and every fall, put a little plug in. It's great. Practitioners come prepared to share the work they are doing in AI and banking across all industries. But yeah, so we're seeing customers adopt AI, our banking customers adopt AI to drive out cost and to improve the service that they're providing to their clients, and it's working.
Now, we can't have a conversation about AI without talking about ChatGPT. And the key thing is, I think one of the big things that people don't realize is the base technology has been around for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
But the reality is ChatGPT has democratized it. Could you give us a sense of your thoughts on ChatGPT and how that's going to basically play a role in enterprise tech in particular?
Well, Brian, I'll plug for NVIDIA. We've been working to democratize AI for the last 15 years, really since 2012. That's when AI had its seminal moment. But ChatGPT has given AI sort of its Tesla moment. It's really brought to the fore, and it's allowing non-technical people to leverage a capability and really understand the power of it. And so you have top of house executives that don't even drive their own cars, playing with ChatGPT and learning about how AI can change the way they do their jobs. It's not going to replace people. AI is a capability. AI will allow people to free their employees up to do more high level activities, like I was describing in the AML KYC scenario. At the end of the
Sorry, go ahead.
Please. No,
go ahead.
I was going to say that ChatGPT, while ChatGPT is really exciting, ChatGPT was trained on 10,000 NVIDIA GPUs on Microsoft Azure, and probably took several weeks. I don't know the exact, several to 2 or 3 months to train. You're going to be writing a pretty big check to do something. All right, it's tens of millions of dollars to train. There's a reason why a $10 billion investment was just made in OpenAI. So what financial firms need to do is they need to experiment and develop this capability before jumping into the deep end of the pool. What we've done is we've created a large language model managed service. We call it Nemo Megatron. It's an exciting offering to help our banking customers to start working with large language models like Nemo Megatron, the large language model that NVIDIA's produced that has 540 billion parameters. ChatGPT has 175 billion parameters. More parameters, smarter. A parameter is like a brain synapse. It allows the AI model to make the predictions, understand the relationship between data inputs, and make predictions on very accurate predictions. That's another challenge with ChatGPT, is that it was trained on internet data, which is filled with human error, human bias. So while it's a great tool, an exciting tool, something that we think is great for AI, I think we also think financial firms should be developing this capability themselves with their own data, leveraging a service like our large language models AI service we call Nemo Megatron, which is available today anywhere in the world.
Now, Malcolm, we could keep going on for the next hour because this has been a fascinating conversation, but we've run out of time. But before we leave, any final thoughts you'd like to leave the audience with?
I think it's really just summarizing some of the things we've talked about, Brian. And first, I want to thank you for your preparation, and it's been an enjoyable conversation. I think it's so important for executives worldwide to understand this AI is so important. It's so important for them. McKinsey is talking about a gap. They've been talking about a gap in their reports for the last few years. And the front runners of AI, front runners embracing AI, according to McKinsey, have the opportunity to double their free cash flow in the next 10 years. And then on the flip side, those who are slow to adopt AI will see their free cash flow decline over the next few years. So it's a survival of the fittest kind of thing. And with the velocity, the volume, and the variety of data being created, and the opportunity to use accelerated compute. And remember what I said, less than 10% of the data centers of the world today are accelerated. That needs to change rapidly. Banks need to invest in accelerated compute. It's available in every cloud, and accelerated compute is what we provide. That's our GPUs. It's available in cloud. It's available on-prem through every OEM that they work with, and we're here to help. But they've got to get started. And the imperative this year is to build out the capability so that you can recruit the young, smart kids coming out of university, and also make sure that you're developing the right capabilities that you can embed AI into your business functions, driving out cost, and finding new ways to serve your clients more efficiently.
Now, Malcolm, thank you very much for taking your time to be on the show.
You're very welcome, Brian. I enjoyed meeting you.
Now, we've been speaking to Malcolm de Mayo. He's the Global Vice President of Financial Services Industry at NVIDIA. I'm Brian Fernandez, and you've been watching and listening to Biztech C-Suite Conversation Show. This interview will be on our website, www.biztech.asia, as well as our social media platforms. It'll also be on our syndication partners, TV stations, radio stations, and websites. Thanks a lot for tuning in.